Hi there. These comments are for Father Javier from the San Bernardino Diocese, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass a TOEFL IBT, and you're doing a pronunciation pretest for vowel and consonant sounds. So we're going to take a look to see how you're doing. So let's bring up your recording, and you will see. I will listen to it and try to figure out if there's any specific areas you need to work on. Okay, here we go.
Lesson 7. Pot, bolt, wrong, grow, honor, over, father, do.
Okay, hold on a quick second. I'll check that last word.
Mop, tak, talk. Lesson 7. Pot, bolt, wrong, grow, honor, over.
Now the grow, boat. That second sound, you want to carry that out a little bit longer than what you're doing.
Father, do.
So I would say father, though.
Lesson 8. Pot, pot, map, mop.
Okay.
Tak, talk, on, mac, mock.
All right.
Lesson 9. Bright, brown, broil, lie, loud, loyal, pie, pound. Lesson 10.
All right.
Gate, get, late, let, mate, met, blade, bled, Dane, then.
Okay, I think lesson 10 is the same as lesson 7. The longer vowel sound you want to carry longer. So gate, get, late, let. So when you work on lesson 10, focus on that longer vowel and make it a little bit longer than what you're used to.
Lesson 11. Meet, meet, pit, pit, lip, lip, sit, sit.
Yeah, this is very tough. Seat, sit, meet, met, peat, pit. So you're having some trouble forming. It's the E, meet, met. So be careful of lesson 11. I think you need to focus on both of those vowel sounds in that lesson. Now remember, there are pronunciation exercises at the end of these lessons. So as you're practicing, you can send over an audio file. Now here's my basic rule though. Don't send more than 60 seconds of pronunciation practice any given day. Right? You can send me practice every day, but just keep it limited to about 60 seconds. And I will give you feedback.
Hit, hit.
So heat, hit.
Lesson 12. Look, look. Luck, took.
So it's look, Luke. So you had trouble with that second sound there.
Tool, toe. Cool.
So tool, tough, tough.
Good, cool.
So I think lesson 12 you also
Lesson 13.
can work on. Let's go back to what you just said.
Lip, lip. Sit, sit. Hit, hit. Lesson mash. Ship, ship. Feature mash. Ship, ship. Lesson 13.
Okay, be careful of that TH sound. So you're almost forming it correctly, but remember that TH, that interdental consonant, you want to put your tongue in between your teeth, so it's 13, 13.
Match, mash. Ship, ship. Feature, fissure. Shaft, shaft. Cheer, cheer.
Okay, the main problem in lesson 13 is the CH and the SH, Father Javier, especially when you're putting them in the beginning of the word. So cheap, sheep, cheer, sheer. So you're having some trouble forming the CH and the SH, especially when it's in the beginning of the word. So that's what you want to focus on in that lesson.
Lesson 14, off, off.
Now, the first word is off, off, off of.
Half, half.
Half, have. Notice when that voice consonant's at the end of the word, you make the vowel before it longer, so you'll say have. But the F is a voiceless consonant, so the vowel is shorter. Half, have.
Fine, mine.
Now you got to work on that V, especially in the beginning of the word. It's fine, vine.
Fan, van.
So fan, van. You just need to produce that V with a little bit more vibration, and it would help you with your intelligibility.
Wafer, waver.
Wafer, waver.
Lesson 15. How, habit. Who, rich hatch. Behavior, hate. Batman, beaten. Important, brightening. Hedgehog, tree thin.
Now, what I want you to be aware of is in American English, I'm seeing if you're familiar with the glottal stop, especially in these last 6 words here. So when the T, Javier, is in the middle of the word, we typically will not pronounce it. We'll say Batman, bitten, important, brightening, hat rack, threatened. So when you work on lesson 15, I want you to focus on the glottal stop, that particular sound. Now, the good thing is, whether or not you pronounce the glottal stop correctly, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you pronounce it as a T, we still understand what you're saying. But if you pronounce it as a glottal stop, it makes you speak more naturally, kind of like a native speaker. So that's the reason I'm bringing that up. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go.
Lesson 16. Major, measure, fragile, fraser.
Okay, a little bit of trouble with the second sound. So major, measure. Fragile, Fraser.
Legend, lesson.
Now, a lot of trouble there. Legend, lesion. Lesion.
Engine, assure, large, Asia.
Asia. So I think lesson 16, you need to practice both of those sounds specifically.
Lesson 17. Cake, cake. Sink, sack. Came, game. Cup, cup. Lake, luck.
All right.
Lesson 18.
Now, one thing I want to point out here, this is something that you can remember. When a voice consonant like a G or like a V, any type of voice consonant, means that there's vibration with that consonant sound. When that consonant sounds at the end of a word, the vowel before it will be a little bit longer. So notice how the K, a voiceless consonant, and then the G, a voice consonant, affects the duration of the vowel here. Cake, keg. Sink, sag. How about lake, lag? You notice how the word that ends in the G, it's pronounced longer. I say it longer than the word that ends in the K. So just something about.
Lean, rear, better. Luggage, rugged, other.
Try that. Luggage, rugged, rugged. You're having a little bit of trouble with that R in the beginning. I think in Spanish it's a rojo, right? But rear, rear. The difference is in Spanish, when you produce the R sound, your tongue is touching the top of your palate, like rojo. But in English, we don't do that. We just say rear, or we say rugged. So in this case, my tongue's not touching the top of my mouth, but the outside of my tongue kind of curls, and then my tongue kind of pushes back in the mouth as I form that sound. The R is a very complicated sound in the English language, so it's not easy to learn, but you're not doing terrible with it. But I'm saying in lesson 18, I want you to practice the R, especially when it's in the beginning of the word. I want you to pay attention to the video and really pay attention to how I pronounce it when it's in the beginning of a word.
Right, light, committed.
Okay?
Lesson 19. Pass, base, flop, flop, cup, cup, lop, lop, pay, bay.
Yeah, not bad with the P in the beginning. I like that. You're remembering to pronounce that with a little bit more air because it's very different than the P in Spanish. However, you're saying, let's take a look at these two words. You're saying flap, flap, cap, cab, lap, lap. But again, that B, because it's a voice consonant, check this out. Flap, flab, cap, cab, lap, lab. So what does that mean to you? Especially with one syllable words, right? If the voice consonant's at the end of the word, then the vowel is going to be longer. And if a voiceless consonant's at the end, it's going to be shorter. So really lesson number 19, lesson 17, lesson 14, I've been giving you some similar kind of tips there. Now what you can do maybe if you want, you can listen to this video maybe once a week. Just go over my diagnostic here. Now remember, in about 6 weeks, we're going to do a second pretest and we'll start focusing on some other things. But for right now, let's pay attention to the vowel and the consonant sounds of American English.
Lesson 20. Lice, lice, sip, sip.
So let's say lice, lies.
Su, so, mace, mace. Alyssa, Alyssa.
Okay, here's the problem. Here's a problem, lesson number 20. So the Z in Spanish is more like an S, and that's kind of what you're doing, right? But notice what I'm doing. Sip, zip. Sue, zoo. Mace, maze. Elisa, Eliza. So you need to remember that the Z in English is quite different from the Z in Spanish. You want to remember to produce it more as a Z with a lot more vibration. Remember, an S is a voiceless consonant, but a Z is a voice consonant. So they're very different. That's why these two words are different in meaning in English. Sip, zip. Those are totally different words because those two sounds are meaningfully distinctive.
Lesson 21. Multiple, Robert, example, pressure, principle,
Good.
number, people, philosopher.
Nice.
Lesson 22. Volcanism, written, maximum, question, summer, reason, chasm, often.
Good.
Lesson 23. Tip.
Notice 23, again, that TH sound. You want to put the tongue in between your teeth, force out the air, and then say the sound. 23, 23.
Deep. Cart, cart. Tight, tight.
It's the same thing I was saying before. Cart, card. Tight, tide. Fat, fad.
Drain, drain. Fat, fat. Team, dream. Lesson 24.
See, that's going to cause you trouble there. Honestly, if you say it the way that you are, I cannot distinguish these pairs of words. And that means you got intelligibility problems, right? So those are things you want to think about. All right, let's keep.
Tick, tie.
I knew this is going to be tough for you because when you're doing 13 and 23, I noticed you had trouble with that T.
Breath, breath. Teeth, teeth. True, do. Worth, worthy.
Better on that last word, but thigh, thy. Breath, breathe. Teeth, teeth.
Questions. What is your education?
Okay, so let's take a look at lesson number 24. Okay, here's what we got. I'm looking at them, so I recommend that you go through all my pronunciation lessons for vowel and consonant sounds. However, here are the lessons you want to focus on the most. I wrote them down. I recommend that you write them down too. Pronunciation lessons. Remember, this is the second section of my course. Lesson number 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, and lesson number 24.
Educational background in your work history. I studied in Mexico and I got a master's degree in Rome. And I worked in this diocese for 6 years.
Notice, I worked in this diocese. So when you put the ED on the end of that word, because it ends in a voiceless consonant, you say, I worked. So don't forget to put that grammatical word ending there.
What is important for you to improve your speaking and pronunciation abilities of American English?
Okay.
In that way I can preach better and make understandable the gospel to others.
Okay.
What do you hope to achieve in this course? To improve my language and pronunciation and to learn how to correct my accent.
Yeah, learn how to correct my accent. Now you're a man of few words, Father. Now when you do the next pretest, I want you to elaborate some more. Try to spend about 1 minute on each topic. Now, why am I saying that? Because it gives me more information about your vocabulary and your grammar, not just pronunciation. I like to see kind of your whole English abilities. You know, how fluent are you in terms of vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation? Remember, you got to be able to put the words together. Of course, pronounce them correctly, but you got to put everything together as your speech, as your conversation to communicate. Okay, anyway, that's good. So thank you very much for completing this pretest. I will put the intelligibility scale in there. I'm looking at the scale right now. So from 1 to 7, your intelligibility is pretty good. However, you didn't spend a lot of time answering those 3 questions. So I'm a little bit limited in my evaluation there because you didn't quite give me quite enough information so I could evaluate your overall speaking and pronunciation fluency. So I'm going to kind of make a guess here. I'm going to put you at about 4.0 out of 7. That's where I'm going to put you right now. But had I heard more conversation from you, maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, I would have been a little bit more accurate in this assessment. But anyway, thank you for doing the pretest, and I will see you next Thursday. So what do you do now? I would start working on these lessons. I will pick different things that we can work on in class, but you can also do things for homework and then send them to me by email, and I will certainly give you comments. Just remember the one rule. You can practice with me every day. I'm good with that. But just don't send more than 60 seconds of speaking practice every 24 hours. All right? Okay, thank you.